the innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
In the market for a new irrigator? Automatic Irrigation in Centerville has you covered. Offering Zimatic irrigators to help you get water to the fields. They tackle all brands when it comes to repairs. Also repairing and selling soak-up grain bins to complete the automatic irrigation game for a touchdown. Go Tornadoes!
Centerville Steakhouse is your top-notch location for the best steaks, burger specials, and more right here in Centerville. Burger specials on Wednesday, Philly and French dip specials on Thursday if available. Friday is prime rib and the best ribs around on Saturday. Open Wednesday and Thursday from 5 to 8:30, Friday and Saturday 5 to 9:30, and Sunday 11 to 1:30. Satisfy your meat cravings at the Centerville Steakhouse.
Everyone at Total Stop are big sports fans. And they want to wish the very best to the participating teams and their loyal fans. Don't forget to stop at your local Total Stop for your gas and grocery needs. Plus, get Total Stop rewards by downloading the app. To get more information, go to TotalStopFoodStore.com.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
And
It's playoff time here in South Dakota, and for high school sports, there's no better feeling than playing for a chance to win it all. Tonight, these two teams need to put all distractions aside and put 110% focus and effort into the first to 3-set volleyball match here tonight. Because if you win this match tonight, you qualify for the state tournament at the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cole Larsch, and welcome to Centerville, South Dakota, home of the Tornadoes, where they are playing host to a loser goes home, winner moves on Sodak 16 volleyball match between the 11th ranked Baltic Lady Bulldogs and the 6th ranked Dakota Valley Panthers. Both teams come into this match boasting impressive seasons with equally good records to show for it, with both teams only losing 5 matches each all year. What's even more impressive is Dakota Valley, boasting a 27-5 record, hasn't lost a set in 24 days, losing 2-0 to 5th-ranked Sioux Falls Christian in the DAC-12 Conference Championship. Since that night, they have been on a 12-0 set run, going 4-0 in that time, with wins against Vermilion, T-Area, Parker, and T-Area again. To put their impressive record into perspective, they only have lost 18 sets all year, with only 5 of those sets coming from South Dakota Class A teams. Now, I should say team, because the only Class A team Dakota Valley has lost to is 5th-ranked Sioux Falls Christian, who is ranked the best Class A team according to the media. And we haven't even touched on Baltic yet. Baltic comes into the Sodak 16 game with an impressive 21-5 record. They're also on a big winning streak of their own, not having lost a game since October 3rd, when they lost to McCook Central Montrose 3-0. Since that game, they are 24-5 set-wise and have won 8 matches straight. Now, with introductions aside, let's dive deeper into how each team got here, including a little bit of a season recap. For Baltic, they came in ranked 11 by seed points with a 21-5 record, as I mentioned previously, with 3 out of their 5 losses coming from ranked teams or teams receiving votes in the media poll. These losses include receiving votes Elkton Lake Benton and Class B number 3 Chester area. Other losses include Del Rapids and Region 3A foe MCM. Their longest win streak is their current one, sitting at 8 games, and they hope to make it 9 here tonight. In Region 3A, they got to the opposite side of powerhouse Sioux Falls Christian in the bracket and defeated Tri-Valley 3-0 and MCM 3-1 to advance to the Sodak 16. For Dakota Valley, they come in ranked 6th by seed points and ranked 2nd by the media with a 27-5 record. They have a more complex schedule due to the location of their school. Being in the far southeast corner of the state is much tougher to schedule South Dakota teams, so they schedule a multi-state schedule that includes quite a few tournaments. In fact, to break it down even further, 13 out of their 32 games were regular season games against South Dakota teams. The 2 playoff games so far takes us to 15. 8 games were in Iowa tournaments for a total of 23. 2 were in Nebraska for 25. And 7 tournament games in South Dakota, bringing us to the total of 32. Now, I must mention I have nothing against playing in tournaments because almost all teams play in at least one, and you often find tougher competition playing in tournaments. It is just something I found interesting about Dakota Valley's schedule when taking a look at it. Their longest win streak was 10 games between September 24th and October 8th, and in Region 4A, they swept both Parker and T area, leading them to this game here in Centerville. At this time, I'd like to introduce my broadcast partner, Jody Zeller. Jody, you ready for some volleyball?
I am. Boy, those are some impressive numbers that Cole Larsch has put together for us. He dug deep today.
I did. As I was mentioning earlier, I might have missed a class, but that's okay. We don't need to talk about that.
Right. I went to class today, so I was doing my stats and recall as we sit here watching these teams warm up. And I'm excited for tonight. It's going to be a great match. We've got South Dakota volleyball all across the state. Great big upset in Stanley County already tonight with the number 13 Oak Point Jefferson Huskies taking down the number 4 Rapid City Christian team, and they beat them in 3 sets. 19, 19, and 18, I believe. So pretty handily knocked them off. So it looks like EPJ, one of the Region 4A teams, making their way to the state tournament and the first ones to get their ticket.
And that's exactly what you want playing those early games, is knowing that you're in and you just get to sit back and watch to see however you play. So now you have a little bit of experience with Dakota Valley. How about you tell us a little bit about them and what you think of their season so far?
Yeah, I do. I know a lot about the Panthers. And obviously we play them, we see them, and I've seen them for years. And I've known Mary Miller a long time. She is a phenomenal coach, does a great job. Anytime you're talking about Dakota Valley right now, you've got to talk about what people don't realize is their big dog. Mary Miller's daughter, Logan, is their setter, and she absolutely runs the show there. She is an all kind of letting some dogs out of the bag here, but an all-conference setter in the DAC-12, which I would beg to say is the toughest conference in the state. She is all-state caliber. She has committed to be a college player. She has everything in the kitchen and the kitchen sink too. She is a phenomenal player. Mary's done a great job getting her prepared. But on top of that, Logan has some great hitters to back her up. Sophie Tuttle plays outside for him. She's only a junior, so she's got another year to go out there, and she hits the ball well. Looks like number 5, Emerson Mead, plays a little bit of the outside too, but then you got to look at Georgia Vandenhall. Georgia plays a middle hitter position. She is their best blocker. She's also their best server, but she also sometimes hits from that outside spot. So Georgia does a lot for them as well. They run a lot of offensive plays because I lost my Logan. Sorry. Because Logan can run all those different sets. She can run the slides. She can run the shoots. She can run the outside. She can run the quicks. You name it, Logan can set it. And so therefore her hitters have played well for her. I did do some homework on Baltic, though. Because I don't know them as well, I did search a little bit more into them. What I'm seeing is they start off with, I've got to start with Emma Van Regenmorter. She is a senior outside middle hitter. She leads them in blocks. She's had 49 this year. That's a nice number. She also serves really well, too. She's averaging almost 1 ace per set serving, and that's a good number. And then she's their best hitter, too, at hitting 271. Then you got to look at their libero, Madison Kennedy. She's averaging 4.5 digs a set. So she's doing some really nice things. And then we've got Peyton Kroll hitting on the outside there, only a sophomore. So that should be fun to watch.
Absolutely. In this gym, not quite packed yet. The Baltic side, I will say, is full. Much more full than the Dakota Valley side right now, but we're also, 10 minutes early. So in these playoff games like this, how important is it to have the crowd on your side, and how much of an impact does a big crowd make?
I think it makes a big difference. When you're going into this match, nobody's going to tell anybody any difference. Dakota Valley has a ton of pressure on them. They are expected to win this match. They are the big dog here. Baltic has nothing to lose. They're going to have a loud, boisterous crowd here. I mean, there's this whole side of the gym, which we're right behind them. We have a great view tonight, by the way. Up here in this little bird cage, I said we're going to see everything. Baltic has packed this side of the gym. Dakota Valley is not quite as full, but they'll make plenty of noise over there, too.
Yeah. So let's get into, as we see starting lineups getting started. I don't know if we're going to start with the national anthem or starting lineups.
Well, when you get to these postseason games, Cole, there's a whole protocol, and that's why they stop 10 minutes early, because they have to say all of these. We're going to start with the national anthem here. So
we're going to step aside. You are listening to Dakota Valley versus Baltic, Sodac 16 volleyball on Live Ticket TV.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Welcome back to Centerville, South Dakota, host of the SODAC 16 game between the Dakota Valley Panthers and the Baltic Bulldogs. We'll start off with starting lineups here first for Baltic. At outside hitter, a senior number 2, Emma Van Riggenmorter. At outside hitter, a sophomore number 3, Danica Witzel. At middle hitter, a junior number 4, Alex Dobbins. At setter, a number 6, a senior, J.C. Wendland. At libero, a senior number 7, Madison Kennedy. At outside hitter, number 8, a sophomore, Peyton Kroll. And another setter for Baltic, a junior number 11, Bailey Tevedal. Head coach for the Baltic Bulldogs, Matt Coons, assisted by Lynette Coker and Marissa Whipple. And we'll start getting into the Dakota Valley starters as soon as they start getting announced here. Gym's starting to fill up here.
Getting a little bit fuller.
I think there's quite a few Panther fans in the hallway that are waiting to walk in. But now let's get you to the starting lineups for the Dakota Valley Panthers. A senior middle hitter, number 4, Georgia Vandenhall. At middle hitter, a sophomore, number 6, Cameron Summervold. At setter, a senior number 8, Logan Miller. At middle hitter, a freshman number 12, Claire Munch. At right side hitter, a junior number 13, Sophie Tuttle. And at right side, a sophomore number 14, Addison Kleiss. The libero for tonight, senior number 2, Kate Van Royen. Dakota Valley is coached by head coach Mary Miller, assisted by Georgia Gable. Now they're announcing the officials. I don't have their names on me, so.
Well, I can tell you that. Well, yes, I think I can tell you. It looks to me like Stephanie Hine is officiating and Belinda Miller is the other official. It looks like Belinda's going to be up and Steph will be the R2, which is the one on the side that calls the subs and the net.
Well, Jody?
We've got a really colorful gym here tonight, Cole. We've got Baltic in their blue uniforms with some gold highlights, and they've got a bright gold libero. Can't miss her out there. Panthers are in their purple uniforms. Libero's in the white. Looks to me like they're getting ready to play ball.
Absolutely, and as they get ready, we're going to get ready up here. What are your expectations for this game? What do you think's going to happen here?
I think one of the big things that Baltic is going to be surprised by is the way Dakota Valley serves at you. I think that's one of the things that teams in the DAC-12, at least the top teams in the DAC-12, offer that teams are really surprised by. They have good, hard servers. They may miss a few, but their aces make up for that. So if they can compensate and cover that up and pass well, get through that, and be able to run some offense, I think that'll be their first stepping stone. All right. For Dakota Valley, things they need to look for. Looks to me like Baltic is going to run a 6-2 offense. So that means they're going to have two different setters. They're starting their first setter, number 6, in the left back position. Okay, so that'll be interesting for me to watch as well. Dakota Valley runs a 6-1 offense, and their setter starts off serving. That was Logan Miller, first serve in.
Blocked up front by Dakota Valley. Good job by Baltic just to recover. Miller with the set. Kleiss gets the corner for the early point for Dakota Valley. 1-0 early here for Dakota Valley, and now we're starting to hear this crowd start to get into it. Still surprising little sparse on that Dakota Valley side as Miller serves again. Kind of an off receive there by Baltic. They just have to get it over with Witzel. Miller to set again. There's Kleiss again on the left side, blocked up front. Excuse me, that was Munch.
Tuttle. That
Tuttle.
was Tuttle, yeah.
I'm going to get it right eventually.
No, it was Tuttle. It was Tuttle, yep.
They've got 12, 13, and 14 all in dark numbers
It
here.
is. It's hard to read.
I'll get it right eventually, I promise.
The only difference is I know who Tuttle is.
Miller to serve again. Hard bullet attacking that back right corner again. Baltic just has to scramble to get it over, and they're going to push it out of bounds. Van Riggenmorter with the push over there. 3-0 early here for Dakota Valley. Miller still to serve.
It almost looks like Baltic's technique plan, whatever you want to call it, is to push the ball deep and make Dakota Valley play the back line for defense.
And Tevedal there just pushes it again, tries to go cross court, goes into the net. That makes it 4-0. And like you said, that's almost the only way to get this Dakota Valley offense off is to kind of spread them out, or else they're just going to ram it right down your throat all game.
They will. If you give them free balls, it is going to be a Dakota Valley heyday today.
We're going to get another net call here on Baltic. That's on Van Riggenmorter.
Yes.
So an early 5-0 run here for Dakota Valley. Miller, arguably Dakota Valley's best server, still serving.
Yes.
High arcing serve. Barely gets over the net. Little tap over.
It's another net violation. The pass is really close to the net there, and the setter tapped the net trying to set that one. That's a hard one. The setter's just trying to make a play on the ball there.
We're going to get a timeout called here by Coach Matt Coons of Baltic. Dakota Valley jumps out to an early 6-0 lead. You're listening to Sodak 16 Volleyball here on Centerville Tornadoes Live and Live Ticket TV.
In the market for a new irrigator? Automatic Irrigation in Centerville has you covered. Offering Zimatic irrigators to help you get water to the fields. They tackle all brands when it comes to repairs. Also repairing and selling soak-up grain bins to complete the automatic irrigation game for a touchdown. Go Tornadoes!
And welcome back to Centerville, South Dakota, the host of Dakota Valley versus Baltic Sodak 16 volleyball action. Dakota Valley jumps out to an early 6-0 lead with Logan Miller still serving.
Wow.
And a slam home by Van Riggenmorter. Finally, Baltic puts an end to that Dakota Valley run.
Yes, difference there. That was a really, really nice pass. They were able to run a perfect one set, and she put the ball straight down on the 10-foot line. Nice job all the way around by all three players.
Tevedal serves for Baltic. Kleiss gets it over for Dakota Valley. Back to Baltic. They're going to get it over with Witzel, and that's going to find the line for another point for Baltic. 6-2 now early in this first set.
Another really nice hit by the outside hitter there for Baltic.
Serve kind of struggled with there by Dakota Valley. Kleiss gets it over. Another good set. Almost looked like a carry there.
That's called a push, but a legal push.
Now we saw a couple of those. I was in Canton for the Canton Elk Point Jefferson game. We saw a couple of those called against the teams, and that one's just going to find the line. I believe that was Van Riggenmorter again.
Wow, she's a nice hitter. She's got quick ups off the floor, gets up there, gets up high, and hits the ball straight down. So as they've got her matched up against the weaker middle blocker for Dakota Valley, that could be a change or something looking good there.
And that hit just barely going to graze the top of the net. The net gods are so far on Dakota Valley's side.
So true.
7-3. And that'll send, I believe that is Munch back there to serve. Was that 13? Tuttle to serve.
Is it 13? Yeah. Yes, it is.
Another good setup by Baltic. Hit home by Van Riggenmorter. We're going to get another point for Baltic. Van Riggenmorter scored all 4 points so far for Baltic, so that's going to be an interesting thing to watch for the rest of the game. And Witzel back to serve for Baltic. Miller the set and slammed home nicely. That was Claire Munch.
Yes.
Another point for Dakota Valley, 8-4.
One of the other things it seems like Baltic's tactic is because Van Riggenmorter, unless that's just her natural stance, but every one of her hits has gone at the right back position or that one spot, which takes Dakota Valley setter out of the game, and that's a great plan.
And just a struggle to get it back over the net there by Baltic, and here comes Dakota Valley again. Munch just going to find the line. Another point for Dakota Valley here, 9-4. Dakota Valley so far attacking the lines nicely.
Boy, Claire Munch is only a freshman. She's come a long ways this year.
Kate Van Royen serves for Dakota Valley. An error there by Madison Kennedy, the libero for Baltic, not Canton. They have very similar colors there.
They do. They almost look like a Canton team just because we're used to that in our neck of the woods.
Set up by Tevedal there.
Great hit. Great hit.
Good hit over by Kroll. Gives the point to Baltic, 10-5.
She's hitting that spot right where we always called that the T spot, that sharp cross-court hit. That's a great place. That is not somewhere someone regularly plays defense.
Van Riggenmorter serves for Baltic. That is Munch on that left side again, I believe. She passes it up and gets the set and slams it down for Dakota Valley. 11-5 now in favor of the Panthers. That'll send Reagan Van Royen back to serve. Serves away low bullet. Dug up nicely there by Kennedy. Little back row attack blocked at the net. That was Witzel that tried that back row attack. Good block up front.
By Vandenhol. She's the state champion high jumper, Vandenhol is. She's got some nice ups on her.
That'll help you out a lot on that front line here in volleyball. Another bullet serve there by Van Royen. And that one's going to hit the antenna just out of bounds by Alex Dobbins for Baltic. Gives another point to Dakota Valley. So Dakota Valley jumps out to an early 13-5 lead. Van Royen still to serve.
That ball had a lot of movement. It floated. It went flat first, then floated and landed right smack in that corner. There's not much you can do about that as a defender.
So service ace for Van Royen makes it 14-5. Dakota Valley on another good run.
Great pass.
See what Baltic can do with it up front. That is Maya Fredrickson on that right side. Just finds that back line. Gives the point to Baltic.
I'm struggling because they have their programs backwards. Dakota Valley's playing on our left side of the court, and Baltic on the right. So I keep looking at the program expecting
we're going to get a net violation here by Logan Miller of Dakota Valley. That pass was just super close to the net and a little scrum forward up top. And she ran into the net, makes it 14-7. Serving is Dobbins, I believe, for Baltic. That is J.C. Wendelin, number 6. That one's going to be off the top or the bottom side of that basketball hoop. Dakota Valley gets it over. Free ball for Baltic. Going up is Kroll. That's going to be tipped to the net for a point to Baltic. Now 14-8.
It looks to me like Baltic brought their A game tonight. They're looking good. They may have started a little shaky with those serves right off the bat, but boy, they're playing well.
And that's what you have to do against the number 2 rated team, according to the media, in the state. And that one's going to be tipped out of bounds there by Baltic. Diving for it was J.C. Wedlin. Couldn't quite get there. Makes it 15-8 in favor of the Panthers.
That's one of Vandenhull's strengths that she has, is she can hit anywhere across that net. She can get up. She can run the slides. She's very agile, and she can get a lot of kills for Dakota Valley.
And Claire Munch back there with the service ace, getting the net gods on their side again. We're getting another timeout called here by Coach Coons for Baltic. Jody, what have you been seeing that Dakota Valley's been doing so well that almost seems to be putting an end to whatever Baltic has planned?
Yeah, it looks to me, the biggest difference right now has been Dakota Valley serving. They're serving really well. They're serving in. They're not making those service errors. And it seems like all the breaks have gone for Dakota Valley so far. All the net calls, all of the balls that have touched the net and rolled over have all landed on Baltic's side. But as you know, volleyball can change in a minute or maybe even a second. We could come back from this timeout and those close calls could go to Baltic, and we could have a change of momentum here. So I do think Baltic is warming up. I would guess they were more nervous coming into this match, not really knowing what to expect. When you see a team that's rated number 2, you know your girls are scared. As much as you try to make them not be or try to encourage them, they're nervous about it and what they're going to see coming at them. So they're doing a good job.
Claire Munch back to serve out of the timeout for Dakota Valley, 16-8 here in Centerville. Thanks for tuning in on Live Ticket TV. Received nicely there by Baltic. That was Dobbins to get it over. On the left side there, that's going to be just out of bounds. That was Sophie Tuttle. Couldn't quite get the line like they've been getting all game so far. That makes it 16-9. Back to serve now is Peyton Kroll, the 5'8" sophomore outside hitter. Just over the top of the net. Back set by Dakota Valley, blocked up front. Big block by Danica Witzel and Alex Dobbins up front for Baltic. Gives them, cutting their lead down to 6, 16-10. Kroll still back to serve. Serve dug up nicely there by Dakota Valley. And that one's going to be tipped out of bounds by Baltic. Just couldn't quite get in front of that attack. That'll make it 17-10. That'll send Georgia Vandenhull back to serve for Dakota Valley. Serves away, dug up by Kennedy, set by Wendland, and the hit over there was Dobbins. On the left side, that one's barely going to find the corner. That was Sophie Tuttle.
Deep corner shot there. That's all you do on those ones is pray they're out, and that was in.
And that one took a bounce and hit the referee in the ankles. That's how close it was, that back corner. And serve into the net by Vandenhull. A rare error here that we see from Dakota Valley, but like you said, they go for aces, and sometimes they have errors, but their aces make up for it.
They do. And now here, look what happens. Vandenhull goes out, and Baltic brings in Van Regenmorter, their best hitter.
That hit by Dakota Valley tipped at the net, almost went straight down on that Baltic side, so that's going to give Dakota Valley the point. Makes it 19-11. And Miller served just a little floater over the net. See what Baltic can do with it. Another little push over. Dug up by Van Royen. And just another, what seemed like it was going to be a set, and then Miller changed her mind at the last moment. She must have saw something she really liked.
Yeah, that killer setter dump there. And that's the thing. You couldn't tell she was doing it until it was almost on the floor.
And now Miller serve goes out of bounds out of the back, so it's going to be the point back to the Baltic Bulldogs, 20-12. Let's see if they can string something together, keep themselves in this first set.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important that while Van Regenmorger's in that front line, that they keep the ball on their side so that they can set her.
Witzel just the tap over for Baltic. Set to the left side, and Tuttle is going to be blocked, but it's going to go out of bounds on the Baltic side. So point goes to Dakota Valley, 21-12.
I don't know if you saw that, but Coach Coons is telling his blockers there they got to squeeze their ears. That right side blocker there, she's not getting closed up to the net. You can really see that from where we're sitting, but they have to get that net closed off, and so that ball can't be played off of them, because Dakota Valley knows how to tool the blocker, and they will do that.
Good rally brewing here. Another hit over by Baltic, dug up nicely by Van Royen, and another block on that right side goes out of bounds again on the Baltic side. So that gives the Dakota Valley Panthers a 10-point lead in this first set. Back serving is Munch. No, excuse me, that's Tuttle.
Yes, it is.
Dug up cleanly, just blocked up front. Huge block there by Kleiss, and that was Kleiss and Somervold.
Yes.
Number 6. So
Somervold.
That'll give a 11-point lead now to Dakota Valley, 23-12. Tuttle still serving for Dakota Valley. Dug up cleanly by Baltic. See what they can do with it. Just a little tip over. Miller has to run for her life, but gets it up nonetheless. And just a little miscommunication there by Baltic. Nobody covered the gap. So now Dakota Valley is 1 point away from taking this first set convincingly. Tuttle serving on set point. Just over the top of the net. Dug up by Baltic. Back set.
Oh, that was
a little punch over. That's going to be out of bounds.
There's not much she could do with that. That set was clear outside the antenna. So
the first set goes to Dakota Valley. Score 25-12. Listening to Sodak 16 Volleyball on Centerville Tornadoes Live and Live Ticket TV. We'll be back right after these messages.
Centerville Steakhouse is your top-notch location for the best steaks, burger specials, and more right here in Centerville. Burger specials on Wednesday, Philly and French dip specials on Thursday if available. Friday is prime rib and the best ribs around on Saturday. Open Wednesday and Thursday from 5 to 8:30. Friday and Saturday 5 to 9:30, and Sunday 11 to 1:30. Satisfy your meat cravings at the Centerville Steakhouse.
Everyone at Total Stop are big sports fans. And they want to wish the very best to the participating teams and their loyal fans. Don't forget to stop at your local Total Stop for your gas and grocery needs. Plus, get Total Stop rewards by downloading the app. To get more information, go to TotalStopFoodStore.com.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
And welcome back to Centerville High School, home of the Tornadoes, for this Sodak 16 match between the Dakota Valley Panthers and the Baltic Bulldogs. Dakota Valley takes set number 1 convincingly, 25-12. We'll see what Baltic can do to respond to that here in this second set.
So it looks like to me, Cole, both teams went with the exact same lineups. Okay, so Miller started in position 1, and Teveldel started in position 1 as well. So we'll have a little bit different matchups in this set because with Baltic serving first, they will have you'll be off one person rotation-wise, so you'll have a little bit different set lineups. So that'll be interesting to see if it affects anything.
Dobbins serves the first 2 points for Baltic. Baltic wins the first point. They're blocked up with the net, and we're going to get a carry or lift called on Dobbins in that back row, just trying to recover.
Yeah, I don't like that call. I'm not a fan of that call at all. She did a really nice job trying to make a play on the ball, and I feel like that's a ref robbing her of that.
Tuttle, who served for the last couple points for Dakota Valley, serves here.
Great spot to put the ball.
And a good recovery there. That was Tuttle again in that back row.
It was.
Baltic's hit over red nicely. Another just dump by Miller up front for Dakota Valley, and that one's going to go straight in the net. Addison Kleiss tried getting it past the Baltic defenders and couldn't quite get past the old net. That makes it 2-1 in favor of Baltic.
Yeah, Cole, I don't know if you know this, but, okay, so when the setter's in the back row, they cannot jump above the net and tip the ball, and I think Logan's getting really close to that. I think the refs really need to keep an eye on that, on those dumps when she's in the back row.
And we've got a really good view of that up here. As
we do.
On another point, Dakota Valley hits one into the net, makes it 3-1. You know, when Heath texted me and said that this broadcast booth was basically a hole in the wall, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but
it's a hole in the wall.
Yeah, it is, but it's a pretty nice hole in the wall here. So kudos to Centerville for letting us have this game and letting us broadcast from here. And what a dig there by Dakota Valley, and they get the point. See if I can't get a number. I wonder if that was Tuttle. Yes, it was.
It was Tuttle with the dig. Yep, because that was a great hit, and Tuttle just happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
So Kate Van Royen back to serve for Dakota Valley. Serves over, dug up over the net by Baltic, and just slamming that one down was Claire Munch. Takes a hit off of a Baltic defender, goes out of bounds. That ties this second set up 3-3. Van Royen serve, bullet over, diving for it almost was Kennedy for Baltic, and Van Riggenmorter just taps it over. On that left side for Dakota Valley, and that. Now, I'm no rules expert, but I'm pretty sure that was a double hit there by Munch on that left side.
It was, Cole, but it is legal to doubly hit the ball off of a hard-driven spike or off of a hard block. So that, I think, was legal, but I do think she lifted it, too.
Well, there you go. Our rules expert here, Jody Zeller, has a lot more experience in volleyball than me. I'll just leave it at that. That hit by Dakota Valley finds that back corner of Baltic, ties it up at 4. But either way, double hit or lift, Baltic got the point anyway.
They did. They got it. They had a nice tip to that back corner.
Good back set there and just hammered home by Van Riggenmorter. We saw that a lot early in that first set when Baltic seemed to be rolling, and it just didn't seem to be clicking there later in that set, but it's good to see that back going again.
It is, but she went all the way across the front row, and they only got her the ball one time. They have to get her the ball more because it's apparent she's a player.
Free ball over to Baltic. Let's see what they can do with it. Kroll takes a tip off of Regan Van Royen of Dakota Valley and still stays in. So regardless, it's a point for Baltic, 6-4.
You are so good with these names because these are some tongue twisters.
Well, I learned that when I was announcing a MVP Sioux Falls Christian girls basketball game, and I got the Van Nieuwenhuizen and names like that, I just started rolling off the tongue. So, yeah, we got nothing this complicated up in my area, but all of a sudden you get down here and it's completely different names.
Yeah, there's a lot of Vans here. That's a nice set by that setter. Just a little bit outside the lines.
Couldn't quite find that line. Both teams really seem to be attacking the lines here so far in this game, and it's been working for the most part. Just a couple of them been out of bounds. Munch the serve over for Dakota Valley. Set up by Tevedal. Little push over there by Dobbins. Dakota Valley on that left side, that was Tuttle.
And that was a great dig by Kennedy, too.
Dakota Valley on the right side, and just a little miscommunication. 2 girls for Baltic. That was Tevidal and Kennedy both dove for it, and neither of them got there because I think they expected the other one to get it.
Well, I think what probably happened there, Cole, is that the ball went right between the blocks. So they were each playing their spot. The blocker didn't get a hand on the ball, and so therefore they both had to take a dive at it.
And this one, poor serve receive and poor communication here by Baltic. That'll make it 8-6 in favor of Dakota Valley. So Dakota Valley back on a little bit of a run here with Munch serving. Set up by Tevidal, just a push over the back to the back row of Dakota Valley. On the right side, that's Vandenhol. And a little back row attack, almost just a push over there. That was Witzel for Baltic. On the left side, that's Tuttle for Dakota Valley. Good volley here. Baltic can survive and get it over. Free ball for Dakota Valley. Set right down the middle and slammed home. That was Georgia Vandenhol for Dakota Valley. That gives them another point early in the second set. And we're going to get another timeout called by Baltic head coach Matt Coons. And we're going to take it with them. You're listening to Sodax 16 Volleyball on Centerville Tornadoes Live and Live Ticket TV.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
And welcome back to Centerville, South Dakota. You're listening to Sodax 16 volleyball action between the Dakota Valley Panthers and the Baltic Bulldogs. Dakota Valley's starting to go back on a run. It seemed close here so far in this first set. And then they go on this run, gets them up 9-6 with Claire Munch serving. We'll see if Baltic can respond. Just a little floater serve there by Munch. Tap over by Baltic. Free ball on the left side. That's going to be Tuttle. I always have to double check those 13s and those 12s because
those
they look oddly similar.
Yes, and those 2 girls look very similar. They both got those long ponytails, so you can't just tell straight up by looks.
10-6. Dakota Valley. Little issues receiving there by the libero. And just mishandled the ball there in that back row. That was Munch for Dakota Valley, so that'll give the point to Baltic, making it 10-7. And J.C. Wenland is going to go back to serve for Baltic.
So she's back there serving, and now she will play their setter, Cole. So that way they always have 3 hitters across that front row.
Just tap over that from the back row and a little setter spike action there. You don't see that very often, but Logan Miller can pull it off. Miller, the setup to Tuttle on that left side. Dug up cleanly by Baltic.
Oh,
Dobbins
nice
tip over.
Nice tip.
Just found the gap in that left side of the Dakota Valley defense. Makes it 10-8. So Baltic starting to crawl back a little bit with Wenland serving.
You know, you teach the girls that. All the momentum has everybody moving with the ball and then to try and come back the other way. But it's so much easier to tell them to do it than it is for them to actually do it. Great hit there on that last hit.
That was Vandenhall for Dakota Valley. Just slammed it right into the Baltic defender and said, try and stop this.
Yes. Now the key here is get her stopped, because when they rotate, then Van Regenmorter will get back in the game. So, and that's their strongest lineup with her across that front row.
I'll say that's where they found the most successes with Van Regenmorter in that front row for Baltic.
There you go.
And a hit out of bounds there, took a deflection out of bounds. That was Tevidal up front for Baltic, making it 11-9. So Baltic still staying in this one for the most part. That is Danica Wenzel back to serve. No, excuse me, that is Peyton Kroll, number 8.
Oh, that's out.
And a hit out of bounds by Dakota Valley. That was number 13, Sophie Tuttle. So another point to Baltic here, 11-10.
Notice that Dakota Valley is starting to make a couple of those little errors. They've had a couple of serving errors. They've had a couple of hits that have been out or in the net. And Baltic's blockers are starting to get some touches on them. So things are settling down for Baltic and trying to make a game of this one.
It almost seemed like they were deer in the headlights in that first set for a couple of points.
Yeah.
That was going to be just out of bounds. Almost hit that back line was Munch. We're going to get timeout called by Dakota Valley head coach Mary Miller. The Baltic crowd is loud and on their feet here in Centerville. 11-11. We're going to stay here and just going to talk about what we've been seeing, what you've been seeing so far that's been working good or working better in this set for Baltic.
Yes, I think, like I said, one of the biggest things to me is that Baltic is getting not just their hands on the ball, but they're getting some of the balls to go back to the Dakota Valley side. They touched a lot of balls in the first set, but it seemed like they all were off the sides of their hands, out of bounds, or down the front of them. And this time they've gotten those blocks closed. They've gotten touches on them that have went back to Dakota Valley. Makes Dakota Valley play more defense, and that's what you want to happen. Makes them have to do 2 times to score a point versus just 1. So, and they've got the score tied here, and we still have Van Regenmorter sitting on the bench. So she'll come in that next rotation, so they just need to keep the ball on their side of the court.
And like you mentioned before, we've been seeing a couple errors from Dakota Valley. Don't really see that very often from them, but the reason they're number 2 ranked in the state by the media is they can overcome these errors most of the time. So we'll see what they can do for the rest of this second set. Is block going to be out of bounds off of Dobbins, so it'll be a point for Dakota Valley. So whatever they said in the timeout must have worked.
It usually does. It's really quiet, funny words, I'll bet. Not really. Hey, while we have a lull in the action here, Cole, I got to give a shout out to a good friend. Molly Perner just texted saying we're doing a great job.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks for tuning in here on Live Ticket TV. Like we said, Centerville allowing us to come in and steal their equipment and steal their broadcast booth to broadcast this game for you guys. So thank you so much for Centerville letting us here and all you watching at home. It is a packed house here on this Baltic side. Dakota Valley still a little sparser than what I thought, but
that one's trouble.
Nevertheless, we're still getting a good volley back and forth here and a good second set so far, as that one's just not going to quite get to the net for Dakota Valley, tying it at 12. And like you said, here comes Van Regenmorter in that front line. Let's see if Baltic can start getting some plays and some momentum on their side.
That is not what they need.
Service error by Alex Dobbins gives the point and the serve back to Dakota Valley. That is Sophie Tuttle back to serve. Dug up cleanly by Kennedy. Set by Wendland. Hit over. And out of bounds was Tevedal's hit. And little deflection out of bounds there. It goes into the student section of Dakota Valley. Ties this set up at 13 apiece.
Yeah, the support staff or the support players for Baltic does a really nice job. They don't all hit the ball just as hard, but they're super good at putting the ball in good places.
And hit over on that left side. That was Munch for Dakota Valley. Baltic does a good job recovering and getting it over. Kleiss on the right side for Dakota Valley. Another good dig and getting it over by Baltic. Again, attacking that left side with Munch. See if Baltic can maybe get a play. A little bad pass there to Witzel, so she couldn't do much with it. And just a little bit of miscommunication there, and really hugged that back line there was Dakota Valley. So they're going to get another point here in this second set, 14-13.
Yeah, and when you notice, these are things that weren't being in the hole in the wall up here that you can see that you can't see in a lot of gyms. But Dakota Valley is setting their outside hitters a little further off of the net, which makes the timing for the blockers harder. And I think that's why that hit is getting through that block and hitting right between the 2 defenders in the back row for Baltic. So those blockers have to wait a little bit longer when the set is off the net.
And the point's going to go to Baltic here. The block by Dakota Valley just wasn't quite up to the net, so it drops on their side. 14 apiece. Just getting over there was Witzel. Little attack at the net. We're going to get a net violation.
I agree with that call. Yeah, the rule on that is the ball has to be partially over the net for her to go up there and touch it, and that ball was not over the net.
That'll give another point to Dakota Valley. Baltic been called with a couple of net violations there in that first set, and now this is the first one here in that second set. And trying to go cross court was Kroll for Baltic, and she didn't even get close to clearing the net. Yeah. So 2-point lead now for Dakota Valley.
Yep, Baltic needs to clean those errors up. Okay, make Dakota Valley play. You got to make them play, and maybe they'll make some of those errors. They're not going to just sit back there and make errors if you don't.
And Van Riggenmorter gets blocked straight at the net, just goes straight down there. So 17-14 now. Reagan Van Royen still back to serve for Dakota Valley. Dug up cleanly there, set by Tevedal. Hit over, blocked up front, but good recovery by Dakota Valley. Back row attack now, and that's going to find the middle gap in the Baltic defense. That was Sophie Tuttle there with that back row attack. So now 18-14.
Yeah, Dakota Valley's kind of digging their heels in here and starting to grind a little bit. They're getting a little lead here, so Baltic's going to have to dig their heels in too and get going, or they're going to find themselves on the ropes here.
So timeout by Coach Coons of Baltic. We're going to take it with them. You're listening to Sodak 16 Volleyball on Centerville Tornadoes Live and Live Ticket TV.
In the market for a new irrigator? Automatic Irrigation in Centerville has you covered. Offering Zimatic irrigators to help you get water to the fields. They tackle all brands when it comes to repairs. Also repairing and selling soak-up grain bins to complete the automatic irrigation game for a touchdown. Go Tornadoes!
Centerville Steakhouse is your top-notch location for the best steaks, burger specials, and more right here in Centerville. Burger specials on Wednesday, Philly and French dip specials on Thursday if available. Friday is prime rib and the best ribs around on Saturday. Open Wednesday and Thursday from 5 to 8:30. Friday and Saturday 5 to 9:30. And Sunday 11 to 1:30. Satisfy your meat cravings at the Centerville Steakhouse.
And welcome back to Centerville as we get you right back into the action. They came back a little late there. I apologize about that. Slammed down there by Georgia Vandenhol. Tipped out of bounds by Baltic, so that'll give the point to Dakota Valley again, 19-14. So still on, I believe, a 5-0 run now is Dakota Valley.
Yes, Baltic needs a block. They need to get their hands on a ball or put it down.
And give it to Van Riggenmorter, see what she can do. She was lights out in that the first part of the first set, and now she's going to sub out now, so we'll see what Baltic can do with this new rotation, 19-15, but Van Riggenmorter been that spark plug for Baltic so far. Served just over the net by Kennedy. Taking that left side again, hits the top of the net and goes over. That was Vandenhol for Dakota Valley. So they get the point back, still with a 5-point lead, 20-15.
Yeah, so Baltic seems to have a rather large, I don't know, different teams call it different names. We always called it the campfire, that open spot right in the middle of the court. Baltic seems to be bigger, and as I'm trying to figure it out, it looks to me like their left side defender is not pulling off of that. She's pulling back towards the sideline, and the balls are falling in front of her. So if they can get that figured out, they maybe can pick some of those balls up.
And a substitution here for Baltic, seeing the court for the first time. Ava Tyert for Baltic. She subs in that back row, and right away Dakota Valley attacks her. But she received that serve nicely, just into the net was Baltic, so another point for Dakota Valley, 22-15. Dakota Valley really hammering that back row with these serves. Dobbins gets it over for Baltic. Set of the net and slammed home. See if Baltic can recover. No, they cannot. Another point here late in this second set makes it 23-15.
That serve's hurting Baltic here. They just can't seem to get it up there so that they can get a good, like they're taking the options away so that all that they can do is set their outside hitter, which makes it so much easier to play defense on. You've only got to think of one option.
And blocked to the net again was Baltic, but they're going to barely get it over. And a little dump there, center dump by Logan Miller, and man, she is good. 24-15. I mean, as a defense, you can't plan for that.
You really can't. You really can't. And she hides it so well. Yeah.
So set point here for Dakota Valley. See if Baltic can respond and keep their set hopes alive. Back row attack, that's Munch.
That's a great pass.
Kroll slams it home for Baltic, dug up cleanly by Dakota Valley. Tip of the net, gonna have to do a little bit of recovery. And Kroll again, just straight to the defenders and blocked at the net. That was Vandenhol's hit, blocked by Dobbins up front. So set 2 goes to Dakota Valley, 25-15.
Yeah, Cole, so the score was tied 11-11. Yeah, so Dakota Valley finished that set on a 14-4 run. Baltic doesn't want that to happen.
Nope, you can't let that happen when you're taking on number 6 by seed points, Dakota Valley, but number 2 in the state, according to the media, Dakota Valley.
Yeah, Dakota Valley's played a really tough schedule. Some of those teams they're going over to Iowa playing, the teams they're hitting in those tournaments. What Mary's done down there and the schedule that she's given those girls, they've taken some lumps in the losses, but they've taken a lot of wins in the experience column, and that has made them a better team. So that's kudos to Mary. She's done a great job.
So Dakota Valley takes set number 2, 25-15. You're listening to Class A Sodak 16 volleyball action here in Centerville, South Dakota. We're going to step aside during the intermission. We'll be right back on Live Ticket TV.
Everyone at Total Stop are big sports fans. And they want to wish the very best to the participating teams and their loyal fans. Don't forget to stop at your local Total Stop for your gas and grocery needs. Plus, get Total Stop rewards by downloading the app. To get more information, go to TotalStopFoodStore.com.
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
And welcome back to Centerville, South Dakota, where Dakota Valley leads Baltic 2-0 here in the Sodak 16 clash. Give you some score updates from around the state. A couple of games already finished up. Elk Point Jefferson sweeps Rapid City Christian 3-0. Miller sweeps Groton 3-0. Elkton Lake Benton sweeps Lakota Tech 3-0. Sioux Falls Christian defeats Redfield 3-0. Belfouche is leading Mobridge Pollock 1-0. Wagner's leading Winner 1-0. And Hamlin and Platte Geddes are tied at 1. So still 4 games going in Class A, including this one.
All right, Cole, so the big thing I see, and I think this is a good coaching move by Coach Coons at Baltic. Dakota Valley left their lineup the same, so we've got Logan Miller starting us off serving. But Baltic rotated their lineup 3 rotations. So what that's going to do is it's then going to match Van Regenmorter up with Georgia Vandenhall. And so that's probably their best chance of slowing her down. It'll be interesting to see if it makes a difference.
Just simple little changes you think might not affect it much to the casual viewer like me, but then Jody Zeller gives the in-depth explanation, and it makes a whole lot of sense. You need to match up along that net and give yourself the best chances. We're going to see a block up front by Baltic. That was Alex Dobbins up front blocking that down, and Baltic jumps out to an early 2-0 lead. Back serving is I believe that is J.C. Wenland,
I believe so too.
number 6, and that one's going to go into the net and hit the antenna, actually. So Baltic jumps out to a 3-0 start here in set number 3.
That's Addison Kleiss out there on the outside right now for Dakota Valley. I would bet that's Coach Kleiss's daughter, the Dakota Valley boys basketball coach, and I see him sitting right there about row 3, right there even with her watching his daughter. He's very calm.
So Wenland still serving for Baltic on a 3-0 opening lead. Just a punch over there by Van Royen of Dakota Valley. Baltic slams it back over. And Dakota Valley really attacks that back row nicely. That was Addison Kleiss on that left side. Just hit out of bounds and into the back wall of the Centerville Gymnasium. Gives the point to Dakota Valley, 3-1.
Do you think that one was going to land in? She reached for it. It would have been close, I think.
It would have been close, but the way that Dakota Valley's been attacking that back line, you almost have to go for all of them because almost all the ones they've looked at so far have been in. And that block is going to go out of bounds off of Baltic, so another point for Dakota Valley, 3-2.
Yeah, once again, from the view that we have, you can see there that middle blocker is swinging at the ball, and she's not getting there. So when she's swinging at it and happens to hit her hands, she's swinging it straight out of bounds is what she's doing. She's just got to get a little quicker jump and get over there sooner.
Back row push by Dobbins for Baltic. And just almost seemed like a little shank there by Munch. Tried to be a little finessey and try and get that just over the net, but didn't even come close, and now it's 4-2. Serving for Baltic is Peyton Kroll, and that one's going to be out of bounds, out of the back, so it's going to give the point and the serve back to Dakota Valley, 4-3. Back serving is Kate Van Royen. Serves up. Little confusion there by Witzel on what she wanted to do and try to get that over. Gets it over nonetheless. A little tip over, trying to find that gap again. Was Dakota Valley. A little cross-court push there by Witzel. Set up the middle straight into the Baltic defender, but Baltic's able to recover nicely. That push to the back corner, and she's going to get it down.
That was what you call dig it or die. That was going straight at her head, and she just reflex. Put her hands up in front of her. Happened to be a perfect pass right to the setter.
So 5-3 now for Baltic, as back serving is Alex Dobbins.
And look who we have in the front row for Baltic, so we'll see if she can make a difference up there against Vandenhall.
And that left side hit just catches the corner and stays in bounds for Dakota Valley. 5-4, and that'll send Reagan Van Royen back to serve. Van Royen serve deep in the back. Might have been out of bounds, but dug up by Kennedy regardless. And getting it over there for Baltic was Kroll. Left side hit straight into that corner again. Going to get hit out of bounds by Kennedy of Baltic, giving the point again to Dakota Valley, 5-5. Lots of corner attacks here by this Dakota Valley hitting squad.
Yeah, they're hitting it right down that line with great success. The defender's there, she just can't get it picked up.
Pass really close to the net. Miller has to make up what she can of it. Tip of the net again by Dakota Valley. Miller set, and that was Vandenhull's hit. That's going to go down in bounds. So another point for Dakota Valley, 6-5.
Coach Coons is telling Van Regenmorter to block this side of the court on Vandenhull, and that might be helpful. But the thing with Vandenhull is she can hit the ball both ways.
That's what good players do, hit it where they want, not where they can. Little tap over there by Witzel. Good block at the net. Almost looked like they might not even got it.
Yeah, I don't know if that ball went over.
And just a push over there. That was Van Regenmorter. So another point for Baltic, and it's crazy what Van Regenmorter can do for this Baltic offense, giving them the point 6-6. Bailey Tevedal back to serve for Baltic. Received nicely, back set to Munch, and that one's going to go far, out of bounds. Gives the lead back to Baltic, 7-6. Another back set there by Dakota Valley, dug up cleanly there by Baltic. Big block at the net by Dakota Valley. That was Vandenhol and Miller both up there blocking it. So another point to Dakota Valley, makes it 7-7.
That was a great swing by Witzel. Her defenders need to cover her when she's hitting because Dakota Valley is a good blocking team.
Score update, Wagner takes set number 2 over Winner. So that one is now 2-0 in favor of the number 1 rated team according to Seed Points, Wagner. And Balt's going to get the point off of a Dakota Valley lift, makes it 8-7. Witzel back to serve for Baltic.
Great serve.
Great serve, miscommunication by Van Royen and Van Royen in that back row.
Yep, right down the seam, right between them. They both just looked at each other like which one's supposed to get it.
So that'll make it 9-7. Witzel serve dug up by Van Royen close to the net, but Miller just pushes it over. Kroll gets denied at the net, but she's going to dig it back up. A little awkward set there. Maya Fredrickson is in there on that right side for Baltic, and hit over by Dakota Valley is going to find that sideline. Makes it 9-8.
That's that same thing. The sets, Logan's pushing the set for Dakota Valley almost outside the antenna there, and the defense is going with her versus against her. It's your instinct to follow the ball and come to the ball. But when they get outside that antenna, the only place the ball can go from the hitter is, that's what's called a pancake right there.
That was a really good one at that, and just a hit over too deep out of bounds by Danica Witzel. Gives the point again to Dakota Valley, and like you mentioned, just put your hand flat and hope that it bounces off your hand.
Let the ball hit you, yep. You don't see it very often at the high school level, but that was a really nice pancake.
Vandenhold to serve for Dakota Valley after they tie the game 9-9. And Van Riggenmorter on that front line again for Baltic, giving them another point. Just splits the defenders nicely. It kind of does a pinball action off both of them. She's going to rotate out, and that'll send Kennedy back to serve. Kennedy serve dug up by Dakota Valley on that left side. That is Munch. Just finds that back corner. Excuse me, that was Tuttle.
Yes, it was.
Eventually I'm going to get those right, I promise you guys.
You will.
Finds that back line for another Dakota Valley point. Ties it up at 10. Short serve. Dug up cleanly by Baltic. All 3 attackers jumped there for Baltic. Had me confused.
That's the plan on that play. Oh, dang.
Good recovery there by Baltic. Just out of bounds. Wow, that couldn't have been out by very much.
It was close, but it was out. Our great view, once again, that we have up here, we can tell the officials when they make mistakes, but he was right on that one.
So 11-10 in favor of the Panthers. Awkward receive there off the serve. And that was Dobbins' hit, blocked at the net, but goes out of bounds on the Dakota Valley side, Makes it 11-11, sending J.C. Wendland back to serve. Serves away right on that sideline. Dakota Valley has to scramble for it, but they get it over. Free ball for Baltic, see what they can do. Hit over, little confusion back there by Miller. They're going to get it to Summervold. She's going to get it over. Baltic comes swinging heavy with Kroll up front. Little tip over there by Tevedal. And just perfectly placed hit just in reach of the Baltic defender, but she couldn't quite get there. Gives the point to Dakota Valley, 12-11.
Yeah, that was kind of an off-speed hit there, but they're really struggling where that front left defender needs to be. She's not getting transitioned off the net far enough, and that time she almost got transitioned too far, so she's struggling with where exactly her coach wants her to be over there. And he's right on it. He can see where she needs to be. They're having a hard time understanding, getting each other to understand what they need to do to get that spot covered. So
So I believe that was Baltic with the timeout. Their first timeout of the set. Give you some scores from around the area. In Class A, 3 matches are final. Miller defeats Groton 3-0. Elkton Lake Benton defeats Lakota Tech 3-0. Elk Point Jefferson defeats Rapid City Christian in a big upset, 13-4 upset there, 3-0. And Sioux Falls Christian handles Redfield 3-0. Matches in progress. This one, of course, Belfouche is about to take set number 2 over Mobridge Pollock. They're going to lead that one 2-0. Wagner takes set 2 over Winner 2-0. They lead that one. And Hamlin and Platte Geddes tied at 1 at the moment. It is 16-10 in that third set. Excuse me, now 18-11. It just updated in that third set in favor of Platte Geddes. Back to action here as serving for Dakota Valley is Sophie Tuttle. Just going to have to push it over for Baltic is Dobbins. Good set by Miller. Hit just out of the reach and barely inbounds on that Baltic side. That was Somervold for Dakota Valley. Gives them another point, 13-11.
Yeah, Cole, I think we need to pay attention right here. After that timeout, we came back with Dakota Valley up 12-11. This has been where Dakota Valley has dug those heels in and really pushed and pulled away in the last 2 sets. So let's see if it happens again this one or if Baltic can hold on.
Good save there by Baltic, but they're going to have to play some pretty heavy defense against the Dakota Valley attack. Good dig again by Baltic. Slammed down by Kroll, but good dig by Van Royen. On that left side, that's Munch. Good recovery so far. Just a little dump over by Baltic. Taking that right side, this is Kleiss. Just out of the reach of the Baltic defender. That was Kennedy back there for Baltic. That'll give another big point for Dakota Valley, so 14-11.
You know what Dakota Valley did there? The difference to me in these 2 teams, one of the differences anyway, Dakota Valley, and that's Logan Miller in all state and all conference, and a college volleyball setter. She put the ball for each one of her hitters across that front row. So that makes the defense rotate, makes them switch, gets them confused. But good job, Logan.
And Dakota Valley again trying to attack that back corner, just goes deep. So now it's 14-12. Baltic has the serve. They're going to send Peyton Kroll back there to serve it away. Kroll's serve dug up in the back row by Van Royen. Hit up by Miller on that left side, blocked up front by Baltic. That was Munch's shot. Another block up front. Net's moving quite a bit. I don't know who touched it, but Dakota Valley is claiming that Baltic touched it. Good recovery there by Dakota Valley to get it over. Just a little tap over by Baltic. Another good dig by Van Royen. Free ball. Back dump. Good pancake. Whistle's going to blow. I think that one would have still been in play. Oh, you don't think so?
Nope, I don't think she got it. I know, but that's right my eyesight. You got to look a little bit sideways on that one.
Yeah, you've got the better angle than I do in this hole-in-the-wall broadcast booth, but we both got a really good angle on it.
We do. This is a great way to watch volleyball.
Fight at the net.
And there was no one in the net there. That was just the ball hitting it and shaking it.
Now it's going to be tapped out of bounds by Baltic. Witzel and Kroll couldn't quite get there, so it's another point to Dakota Valley. 15-3 now, or 15-13 with Kate Van Royen back to serve.
And Vandenhole in the front row.
And with Vandenhole in the front.
And now look who's coming in for Baltic.
Van Riggenmorter on her way in for Baltic, so it's 15-14. Like we said earlier, Baltic kind of adjusted their rotation here in this third set, and so far it seems to be working out decent for them.
Yeah.
They seem to be keeping up with Dakota Valley. And that was Munch there just going across the defense of Baltic.
Did you see that again? The set was clear outside the antenna, and all the defense was over on that side of the court with her. There's no way the ball can go on that side of the court because it has to go inside the antennas. And it's so hard to get girls to do it because you have to play with your instinct. There's no time.
And huge swing. That is Emma Van Regenmorter for Baltic. Block. It goes out of bounds. So it's now 16-15. Van Regenmorter proven to be a little bit of a spark plug here for Baltic so far in this game. See if she can get them in the lead. Back set to Munch.
That was out.
And that one, like you said, I would have guessed it would have been going out, but Kennedy goes for it anyway. 17-15.
Great serve.
Short serve, straight into the gap of the Baltic defense. Makes it 18-15. So since that timeout, it has been 6-4. So not quite as lopsided as we've seen the other two sets after a late or a mid-set timeout by Baltic. But
oh my goodness! That's Vandenhol. I hate to see that.
That looked like
It's an ankle. It's an ankle. I think she landed on the Baltic girl. No fault of the Baltic girl by any means. You know, when they're playing that close to each other, it's just one of those things that happen. Hopefully it's just a tweak and she can come back.
So as we take an injury timeout, we'll also take it. You're listening to Sodak 16 Volleyball on Live Ticket TV.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
And welcome back to Centerville as we watched Vandenhol walk off on half of her own power. It seemed like she was kind of limping pretty hard on that left ankle, or right ankle, one of her ankles. I don't remember which now, but it seemed like it wasn't too serious, but any injury at this point in the season, you don't want that because you need your team at tip-top shape if you want to win this game and move on to state. So we've still got some discussion here between Mary Miller and this down referee.
I think what she's trying to argue is that the injury happened in play, so it should be a replay. And Steph explained to her that the ball landed on Dakota Valley's side, so they've got to give Baltic the ball. So what we have here is Emerson Mead, a 5'11 sophomore, is in for Georgia Vandenhol at the moment, as Vandenhol went down with an ankle turn.
And a hit out of bounds there from that left side. No, we're going to get a touch called by the corner official. It looked like it might have been touched, but...
Well, Coach Cooge does not agree, and Baltic's captain already asked the ref. They're not much into listening about it, so...
No, and like we said, your captain can ask, but usually they only get an explanation.
Yep.
And that referee's explanation was pointing over to that corner judge with his flag held up, signaling a touch. So yep. Baltic needs to respond big here, and they do.
Yep.
Big hit up front.
That was a great dig by Baltic's libero. She was crawling almost on the floor to get to it. One of the differences with the line judge here when you get to the postseason, Cole, is that those are certified officials line judging. Often it's just a volunteer from the community or something like that. But these officials are certified, and they officiated a region match just last week. So they tend to trust what they call.
Yeah, that's why you have this many officials in these big games, because you want every call to be correct, no matter what. So Baltic on a little bit of a run. They got some momentum. We're going to get a timeout called by head coach Mary Miller of Dakota Valley, and we're going to take the timeout with them. 19-18 set 3. You're listening to Sodex 16 Volleyball on Centerville Tornadoes Live and Live Ticket TV.
In the market for a new irrigator? Automatic Irrigation in Centerville has you covered. Offering Zimatic irrigators to help you get water to the fields. They tackle all brands when it comes to repairs. Also repairing and selling soak-up grain bins to complete the automatic irrigation game for a touchdown. Go Tornadoes!
And welcome back to Centerville following the timeout from head coach Mary Miller of Dakota Valley. Baltic has not quite the lead yet, but they've definitely got the momentum.
Yeah, the crowd is getting going here finally. They have a huge crowd here tonight. Baltic must have brought almost the whole town, but they have been very, very quiet the whole match. So it's nice to see them going, get a little excitement. I don't know what that thing is that the student section's doing, some bebopping and up and downing, but they're trying to get them riled up.
Doesn't matter what you do as long as you're loud. That was
right?
Always our student section's motto. And we're going to get a lift called on Baltic. Coach Coons is arguing for somebody being in the net on Dakota Valley, but he's not going to get that call.
No,
so.
I think he thought their player was over the net, but the ball was on top of the net, so she has her right to go up there and do that.
So 20-18, Logan Miller back to serve for Dakota Valley. Big swing up front from Baltic. Tipped in the net, but dug up cleanly. Good pancake there, just trying to get it back up by Baltic, but nobody was back there for that second hit, so now it's 21-18. Baltic down to their last 4 points of the season here if they can't get a little run going. Serve over by Miller. Bullet, no touch, straight out of bounds, so point for Baltic.
I'm trying to figure out where Dobbins is in the lineup. So she's in middle front right now, so they have 2 rotations yet before Ben Reagan-Mortar's back in the lineup. And then we'll be able to see is Vandenholz able to come back or if they're going to have to go with that sub.
And a hit down from that left side. That was Addison Kleiss on that left side for Dakota Valley. Really attacking that back line, so it's 22-19. I don't know what. We've got a referee talking to Coach Coons. We've got.
I didn't even notice that, but I saw her blow her whistle and call coach's time right away, so they'll replay that one. She must be going to ask whatever the confusion was there. Mary Miller's going to round her troops up on this side. And we'll see what happened here. I can see Belinda's got the replay signal up, so it'll still be Dakota Valley serve and no points awarded on that play.
I don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing here.
Coach Coons was not impressed. Coach Miller not impressed with the replay call, I think.
No, she is not, because that was a great serve by Tuttle.
So now I think she understands the confusion of the replay signal. So we're back in action here. Dakota Valley needs 3 points to advance the state tournament. Good dig up by Baltic on this left side. That's Tevidal. Dakota Valley block gets over. A little miscommunication there, but Kennedy runs over to get it. A little confusion again. Maybe a mistouch by Dakota Valley. They get it over nicely. Good recovery by Baltic. Miller sets to the left side.
Set.
Munch slams it home. Big dig by Kennedy for Baltic. And the set just too close to the net. Baltic couldn't do anything with it. Makes it 23-19.
Boy, you know, in the old days, you got to pick a player up from the other team. That libero for Baltic is doing a great job. Madison Kennedy, she's picking up balls left and right, giving it her all.
We're going to have timeout here by Coach Matt Coons. While we've got the chance to give you some score updates, see if anything's updated around the state. Let's see here. Platte Geddes ended up coming back and defeating Hamlin in the third set, 25-16, so they've got a 2-1 lead. However, they are down 10-2 in the fourth set. Wagner and Winter, no update there, still 2-0. Belle-Fourche and Mobridge Pollock still 2-0 in favor of Belle-Fourche, but Mobridge Pollock leads set 3, 13-10, last reported. And that is all the Class A games. Just a reminder, Elk Point Jefferson, Miller, Elkton Lake Benton, and Sioux Falls Christian all advance so far today. And Dakota Valley is 2 points from that here in Centerville. Big serve coming from Sophie Tuttle. Dug up and just out of the reach of anybody on Baltic. So another big point for Dakota Valley.
Match point coming up here.
1 point away from going to Sioux Falls next weekend. Tuttle with the serve. Dig by Kennedy. Set by Wendland. Back row attack, just kind of getting over. Let's see what Dakota Valley can do on that left side. Munch off the ceiling. Baltic couldn't quite do anything with it. And the Dakota Valley Panthers advance to the state tournament next weekend with a win over Baltic, 3-0.
Well, congratulations to the Panthers. Congratulations to Coach Mary Miller. You know, often the coaches don't get much of the kudos, but former coach here, I've got to give it to her. They played well, and I sure hope Georgia's able to get back out there next week and help them out. Look at the sportsmanship here by Baltic. Every single player walked over to the bench and given Georgia Vandenhull a high five and congratulating her.
This time we're going to have the awards presentation here to Dakota Valley.
That's Dakota Valley's AD, Bill Clements, on the floor, going to hand out the medals to his team.
Well, Jody, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Nothing really. I mean, no big surprise to me. Of course, I'm a DAC 12 girl. I'm always going to root for those DAC 12 teams. I'm proud to see that. Looks like so far we've got 3 DAC 12 teams at the state meet. But I do have to say, Baltic surprised me. I was impressed with their play tonight. I was impressed with their sportsmanship. I was impressed with their ability. Their libero is a good player. She very much impressed me. And their hitters did a nice job too. They just ran into a bigger dog than they could handle.
Yeah, but it just seemed that way all night. I mean, this is the closest set out of all 3 of them. It seemed like this is the best chance that Baltic had, but nonetheless, Dakota Valley comes out and did what they've done now 28 times this year, and that's win volleyball games. So they're going to move on to the state, probably be about, right now it's looking like probably the 4 seed in the state championship with Rapid City Christian going down.
Yeah, that'll move them up. You are right.
See if any other scores have updated in Class A so far, as they are now presenting the plaque to Elk Point Jefferson.
To Dakota Valley.
Or, yeah.
It's okay. I got you. You're reading the scores.
I saw Elk Point Jefferson on my screen. That's what got me all messed up.
Yeah, I'll cover your back, Cole. No worry.
The Wagner winter game is final. Wagner moves on to state.
So Platte they'll be the 1 seed, right?
Yep.
Wagner will be the 1 seed. Okay.
Platte Geddes Hamlin still 2-1 in favor of Platte. And Belle-Fourche, Mobridge Pollock still 2-0 in favor of Belle-Fourche. Well, from Cole Larsch and Jody Zeller, you've been listening to Sodac 16 volleyball action on Centerville Tornadoes Live and Live Ticket TV. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.